this paragraph, so I'll have you start with sometimes breaking the rules.
All right. Sometimes breaking the rules a little bit is where the action is. In case it's not clear, I really want you to do this. Okay, so here's how it's going to go. Find somebody who is making eye contact. That's a good signal. The first thing is a simple smile. If you are passing somebody on the street or in the hallway there, smile and see what happens.
Okay, good job, Kenny. You actually got a little bit better intonation that time.
Yeah.
That was good. Okay, so the biggest thing for you, I think, is besides intonation. Intonation is number one.
Yeah.
But number two thing I would say is that sometimes you skip sounds.
Okay.
So for instance, on this word, action, what I heard was action.
Action, okay.
So it should be action.
Okay, I hear, yeah. Action.
Yes.
Not action, no action.
Right. So now let's do where the action is.
Where the, I think I say the instead of the okay. And where the action is.
Nice. Good job. I'm glad you caught yourself on the. That was good. All right. And then down here, what I heard was that's a good signal, but it should be that's a good signal.
That's a good signal.
Yeah. And you don't have to fully release the D, but you do have to position for it.
Maybe I had to keep practicing on this, you know. Hello?
The final consonants?
Yeah, final D or T.
Yeah.
Usually at middle of the sentences. So if at the end of the sentence, I usually pronunciate it.
Right, because you've got a nice pause there and you know the sentence has ended, so whatever sound you ended with, you got to pronounce it, right?
Yes.
But it is harder in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, it's really harder, you know, but even in native, I think native speaker also sometimes, I don't know.
Yes, sometimes native speakers get lazy. Yeah. However, we do a lot of, like down here on see what happens, I didn't say see what happens. That would be fully pronouncing that T, right? Yeah. But I did position for the T and I turned my voice off. See what happens.
Oh, see what happens.
Mm-hmm. So you have to position for the T still, and you have to get your voice turned off there. So your listener knows there's a voiceless sound right here.
So like certainly stop or?
Yeah, you have to stop. So instead of see what happens, there I just did wha, and I didn't position my tongue for that T.
Okay.
So the difference is incorrect is see what happens. Correct is see what happens. Could you hear the difference between the two?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So let's try that. See what happens.
See what happens.
Right. Yes. Good. I want to mention one more thing I've heard as you've been talking to me. That word like. Each time you're saying the word like, I'm not hearing this K sound. So that's also an important one that if you're just using it as an interjection, like we often do, you still have to pronounce the K.
Like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people always use this as a filter words. Filter word. Yeah, I always hear, especially in New York City. I don't know another area there.
Yeah, they do it here in Idaho too. That's a very common filler word for people.
Okay, I think 10 years ago, maybe more, right now this one is more common than you know.
Yeah. So are you saying that 10 years ago,
Maybe
like,
30 years ago, yeah, it's not that common.
right. I agree with you. It's been in the last 10 to 15 years that people have really started using that word like a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? When I listen to the BBC and listen to British people, what I hear as a filler word, it's actually a filler word phrase, is the phrase sort of. I hear that a lot in
Okay.
British news. Not so much in America, but in British news, I hear a lot of sort of. So we all have our own little sets of filler words, and like is one in America for sure. Yeah, but you know what, Kenny? Like I said, you did some nice pitch changes in that paragraph. So good for you for getting some pitch change there. That was excellent. So the big thing is don't omit any sounds.
Yep.
Very good job.
All right.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next person here, make sure we get through everybody.